I love the beach. I love going to the beach and I love taking my family there. It's just a fantastic, relaxing time for me to go to the beach and enjoy things and enjoy time off with my family. The one thing I do know about just going to the beach over and over again is that you never try to build a sandcastle too close to the water because of high tide. It comes up and it takes it all away when the water comes up and beats the sand. Why? Because the sand is not stable, it's not sturdy. It washes away when water hits it. Well, today we're going to look at a story about the differences between building on sand and building on rocks and a strong foundation. So what I want you to do right now is to pause the video, read this passage, and answer these few questions. And I want you to see the difference between building on sand and building on a strong, solid foundation. Okay, pause the video right now. Okay, just like what I said, when you build on sand, when it gets too close to the water, when storms come, it washes away. But when you build it on solid foundation, on rocks, in a stable foundation, it's able to withstand the storm much better than the sand. Well, in the same way, when we listen to God's word and put it into practice, we're able to build a strong foundation for our life. But if we just hear God's word and we don't put it into practice, it means nothing. We get washed away when storms or tough times enter into our lives. So I want to encourage you today to be reading the Bible, hearing God's word, whether it's at church or at home or just reading the Bible or listening to a sermon. I want to encourage you to listen to it, but then put what it says into practice. Do what God says. Do what Jesus says. Listen to the Bible and put it into practice so you can build a strong foundation today. In fact, that's what our bottom line is. Practice hearing and doing what God says. When we practice hearing and doing what God says, then we can build up a strong foundation in our lives. So when a storm does come, we're able to withstand it much better if we just hear God's word and then do nothing with it. So do something. Hear what God says and put it into practice today. Hey, I also want to encourage you to be memorizing a brand new verse this month, and it's this. 1 Timothy 4:8. Training the body has some value, but being godly has value in every way. It promises help for the life you are now living and the life to come. This month, I hope we can train our bodies to do some great stuff. And it really starts with practicing hearing and doing what God says. And so I hope that you can put this in practice, and each week that we go through this whole series on commitment, that you're able to practice doing some great stuff and train your body to do what God desires you to do. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. I can't wait to continue this series on commitment with you, and I can't wait to see you next week for a whole new story. Have a great week, everyone.